All right, guys, today we are working on the first gen, or a little bit anyway. So this is the rear end I'm putting in there. Don't mind the drums because we're taking those drums off. We're just leaving them on there just so it's easier for us to move around right now. So we're going to be converting it to a disc brake setup. I will go over that in a separate video for you guys that are interested in that, because I know that you guys are going to ask. But I will go through that in a completely separate video. You'll see me do it in the videos to come for this, but I'll do it in a separate video. This is just a Dana 70 out of I think it's a 95 Dodge pickup with Cummins in it. It's got a 354 gear with a limited slip. Eventually it'll probably get an actual pause unit, but the limited slip will do us just fine for now. So we are going to take this and put it in there. So I do like working on the rear end, so we might as well get after it. All right, guys, so we checked a few things out. I'll go over that in a minute. But we're gonna pull this backing plate off and the hub off. So we've already pulled the axle out. For you guys that have never done that, just take your impact gun or a wrench, pull all your bolts out. The easiest way to get these to separate is just take a hammer and whack the end of the axle and it'll separate. Sometimes you gotta give her a good drive, but usually they come out relatively easy. And there's a big nut. You gotta take this little clip out and then take this nut off. This will pull off. Then the backing plate is just bolted on. We'll pull that off. As soon as we get to that point, I'll talk a little bit more about that, and then we'll go over and do some measurements, and I'll show you guys what we have in mind.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that.
Oh, video. All right, guys, so you've seen us monkeying around with the diff. Got a bunch of stuff apart. We got the hubs all off, the backing plates all off, the brakes all off, all that stuff. There was a little bit of rust in it. So I guess, yeah, if you're buying a used diff, make sure there's no rust in it before you buy it. This was a diff I had in my diff pile, so I have nobody to blame but myself. So, yeah, it is what it is. Luke's here too, by the way. He was just shaking his head yes at me. So I pulled the posi apart. I will talk about rebuilding this when we go into it with the limited slip, and it's hammered. Like all the clutches are wore out, all that jazz. The side plates, the side thrust plates are all wore out. So I'm going to buy a rebuild kit for this, so I'll do a separate video on this. The rear diff, nothing's really damaged from the rust. It's just a light rust. So we're going to get everything cleaned up. Here, actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you can see the rust on the ring gear there, or on the outside of the ring gear. The ring gear itself didn't rust, so that's good. The pinion isn't rusted, so we're going to have to pull it apart, rebearing. So we are going to, basically, just to give you guys an idea of what we got going on here, is we're going to shorten this. We're going to shorten this section 5 inches. So this is going to be 5 inches farther in. Doing that basically is what that's going to do for us, is bring all of everything in. So we're going to have to mini tub this, which originally I wasn't going to do that, but we're gonna do that. So I gotta get some wheel tubs. I'm hoping to maybe get new ones. If I can't get new ones, I'll have to get used ones, but I'll have to source them because I don't have any. So I'll have to figure that out. And I'm running 2 different sets of wheels. So the street wheels are a 15 by 10 with a 2.5 inch back spacing, because that was what I could get cheap for a wheel. And these ones, the ones that have the slicks on it, are a 16 by 10 with a 4.5 inch back spacing. But I believe that they'll work. We did some measurements, and I believe that that'll all work out for us for this year. Next year we'll do something different, but it'll be, I'm pretty sure it'll be a different truck next year. So that is what we got on the go for what we were doing today anyway. So I didn't film any of this or taking this apart because I didn't realize that the camera was dead. So like I said, I will do a separate video on rebuilding this. We will do a separate rebuild. I will do a video on rebuilding the rear diff. The diff will be out when we do that, so it'll be way better for you guys to be able to see, because when I narrow it, when we go to weld it all back out, I'll just pull it out. It's just way easier to do. So I'll do a complete separate video for rebuilding the limited slip and rebuilding the diff itself. Well, I'm going to re-bearing it. I'm not going to rebuild it, but I'll explain how to rebuild it if you're putting gears and all that stuff. I'm working on the first gen some more. I just got the wheels in. Now these are just unpainted 15 by 10 steel wheel, and the tires also showed up. So the tires are, these are going to be the street tires, Mickey Thompson Sportman SRs. They're 28 12.5 by 15s. So I am going to mount this tire on there. Now I would usually use my tire machine, but I can't get it out at the moment. It's inside a truck outside. So we're going to put these on the hard way. I shouldn't say the hard way. It's going to be the hard way for me because I don't have a set of spoons anymore for putting tires on. And being I don't have my tire machine set up, I probably should rectify the spoon problem, or I should get my tire machine set up. Anyways, that's for another day. So I'm just going to lube up the beads on this. We're going to put this tire on this wheel. And then we are going to put it on the truck and see what we have for some distance. Now I'm looking at the way that this tire has been sat. I'm probably gonna have to use a bead blaster. So I'll probably have to go get the bead blaster, but let's get this thing on here and then we'll go from there. I got this tire mounted, as you've seen. You've seen I had it on there. So we kind of figured out that, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm going to throw it on there and I'll just talk to you guys, because I never really talked to you about that in the last video. Some of this video, you're going to see us probably narrowing this diff. It'd be later in the video, because I do not have all the stuff right at the moment. So it'd be a different day for me, but same video for you. Don't mind the heater. Heater always has to come on when I want to talk. All right, so that's what we got for the poke out right now, and that I don't want. As much as I actually don't mind the look of it, I want it to be tucked in for the reason I want it tucked in, one, is so I don't get bothered by the fuzz, aka the cops. And with the slick on, what happens, the slick right there, what happens is the tire actually comes up and touches. Probably can't see because of the light. See that clean spot? or the yellow spot, that's from the tire touching. And when you're trying to drag race, you don't want your tire touching your fender because it tends to upset the suspension. So we don't want that. So that's why we're narrowing the rear end. So what I've measured here, basically what I did, for any of you guys that want to follow along on the actual chopping of the rear end, you get your hand in here, there's a lip, right? So basically what we need this tire to not touch here. So what we need is, I use this plastic tri-square, or carpenter square, lots of people call them. I guess I shouldn't say a tri-square, that's not the right word for it. Carpenter square of some sort. Put that up against the tire like that. I need a level. Hold on, I'll be right back. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna bump this up against the tire, right? This is how much I figure out, this is how I figure out how much you gotta cut out so that the tire doesn't touch inside this ledge, right? It's a lot easier if you have more than one person, but I'm one person at the moment. So you put this in there and then you measure the difference. So we are about, let me put it on the other side here. I can read it in metric if you want, but I don't imagine for you guys that are in the States you want it in metric. We are 4" 15/16. So basically 5 inches. So what I'm gonna do is we are going to cut 5 inches out of each side of this axle. And that will make this go up inside there. So, and then also too, I'm gonna trim the inside of this a little bit because there is a ridge. There's like, this is that wide inside there. So I'm probably gonna trim 1/2 inch off, and you won't be able to see it. It'll be just in a certain area, kind of right here kind of idea. So basically what we're gonna do, let me pull this back off quick. And I actually have to make up some tools for doing this because the guy, I used to borrow the tools from a guy, and he doesn't live anywhere near here, so I can't do that. I don't have the tools for doing one of these anyway. So basically what we're gonna do here is I am going to cut out 5 inches out of this tube on both sides. And we have lots of space, like there right now, to the spring, to this flange, we have 7 inches. The only thing that I have to do is I ordered rotors because we're gonna put rear disc brakes on this with an emergency brake. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll probably do a separate video on that for you guys that are interested. What I want to do is just see what my back spacing for my rotor is going to be. So the rotor is going to end up being on the back side, I'm pretty sure anyway. That'll be it for this one. Just a little bit of content on the old first gen. And like, subscribe, hit me down in the comments, and remember, it's not rocket science.